Random Stuff with Donovan, Lindsay. It is me, Josh, and Donovan somewhere, but we've got the boys from Cell 23 for this damn episode.
Woot woot.
Woo!
Yo.
So we got Nate over here, we got Ian, and we got Stewart. My man.
Hello.
So, how's it going, boys? It's been a while. It has been a damn second since we've seen you guys, or since the public has seen you.
Yeah, we've been radio silent for a while.
Yeah. So, well, I guess let's just start out. How's your day?
Honestly, solid day. Weather's a little cold, but sweater weather. Stayed inside. Got a little warm. Got some work done today. Working on some bass tabs for folks who are trying to audition for us. So got a little bit of that done today. I don't know about the other boys though.
Yeah, what's up?
Nate and I I think all of us were just working today. I personally have been kind of a work machine for the last few months. So if anything, it's been kind of convenient, the situation that we're in with the band, because it's given me an opportunity to work on some other things in my personal life a little bit.
For sure. Nate?
I did chores today. That was about it.
Laundry.
Man. Yeah.
We knew it.
I did laundry, cleaned up the room a little bit, and then I burned CDs. That was about it.
That group call that we had right before we headed to Donovan to say, hey, we're going to go to Donovan's.
Yeah.
We were like, I wonder what Nate's doing. And we were both like, laundry.
It's kind of become a running joke with this guy at this point.
Unfortunately, you're wrong. It was work related.
Laundry for work.
Laundry for work.
Work laundry.
Work
Laundry
clothes.
for work.
Work laundry.
Clothes.
Laundering at work. All right. Yeah. I'm doing good. What's up, guys?
How's your day?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. How was your day?
Pretty good, you know. Set this up.
It looks good. I like it.
Woke up at like 3, I think. Finally got out of bed.
That sounds like a good day.
Yeah. I took yesterday off to actually get stuff done.
Oh,
The
yeah.
past couple of weeks with our stuff, we've been, working, cooking up in the kitchen.
Yeah, you guys said that you were cooking. What in particular were you referring to?
Oh, man.
Meth.
A lot, yeah.
He's on to
Schedule
us.
1. You guys heard about that Schedule 1? I've been cooking.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about at all? The video game?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Oh wait, no, yeah, I played
Anyways,
the fifth.
what's it? Yeah, just in general, man. I was telling you guys earlier, we've been kind of radio silent too, where we finally got a show on the 25th, and it's like really all we've done this year. This will be our first one. But it's because we've been cooking. We're just waiting to get some money right now, but like we've got 3 singles that are slotted to release before fall.
Yeah.
We just shot a
Oh,
music
yeah.
video.
DIY.
We've got shirts. Yeah, DIY. We've got
Oh, yeah.
shirts and merch and stuff that we're actually getting out. We finally have like art and stuff. So like we're gonna do the thing, man.
You got everything in the back
Yeah.
pocket, man. You're
Finally.
rolling it
Like-
out.
Like I was telling these dudes earlier, we're tired of being a garage band.
Yeah.
We'd like to be serious. And what I was telling them earlier too is I wanted to just say off the bat, I really admire how much effort you guys put into like your presentation. We're gonna do a little thing here, a little promotion. Cell 23's
Aw.
they got some new stuff coming out. We got a new demo, right?
Yeah.
New demo. We got a lot of new things going on with the boys, but just the presentation, man, the seriousness that you guys put into the band when it comes to socials and stuff like that. Just wanted to say I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like many people are that serious. Like you guys really have like an image, like you guys are doing the thing. And I just, we're trying to be like that. It'd be cool,
We've got
Yeah.
Stewart to thank for a lot of that one.
Seriously,
sure.
though.
Well, and honestly, like,
Him in his fucking socks.
that's
Some of my
Oh my
favorite
God.
socks, man.
the vibe today.
Gonna get a zoom in on those.
But honestly, I think that's something that we kind of worry about a little bit every now and then. To be honest, is like, even though yes, and I think that I'm probably the biggest advocate for like we have to like look a certain way or we have to like present ourselves a certain way. But I think that sometimes we honestly kind of worry that we're taking it a little too far because we've kind of had a hard time since we started like figuring out how to draw the line between being professional and being pretentious, because it's really, really easy at the level that we're at, which is basically still ground zero, to look like we think we're more than we actually are, or that we hold ourselves with like this high esteem that is not exactly like maybe well deserved is not the right term that I'm looking for, but like we're always trying to be a certain way without looking like assholes for like trying to like be serious about it.
A little hard in the metal scene, man.
Yeah,
A little bit.
We always look like assholes. Whatever.
but I guess it's kind of like we can't help it. I mean, it's not just because we want to be taken seriously. It's because like a lot of the sentiment behind the music that we write it's about serious shit.
Right.
And so we can't just pretend that we're just doing it for. It's not like we're just doing it for fun. There is a purpose behind all of it, and I feel like to deny that purpose or pretend that's not real that's not genuine. And I'd rather people think that we're pretentious by trying to make that apparent than have people not take us seriously at all.
Yeah, to have people think that we're in it for the meme or something.
Yeah.
But well, sometimes I do like to think we do make the occasional unserious post. The
Occasional.
The Slim Jim Beef Wellington that we like to try and forget about.
Yeah, I had forgotten about it until literally 5 seconds ago.
I mean, sometimes you have to,
For sure, but no, it's really cool. I think it's really cool, and I understand. Maybe because we've been talking about it, me and Don. Maybe that's kind of like why we haven't been serious. Like we've kind of been a garage band because like we've kind of only been doing it for fun. I don't think any of us have really like set a legitimate goal. Like that's on us. We need to talk to our band about that and like maybe sit down and have that serious conversation. But now I don't know. Personally, I'm trying to work towards like I'd like to tour, but I'd like to tour without absolutely hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
Even if we get close to breaking even.
Yeah.
Breaking even would be awesome. I'm not even looking to make money. That's not realistic.
Yeah. It's extremely lucky just to break even.
So I would like to tour though without absolutely hemorrhaging money. Like, be able to play to maybe hopefully only one dead crowd for the 5 CD run we do, But like, now I've actually got a goal, so hopefully we can look towards that. We gotta talk to the whole band.
Yeah.
Because it's really just been cooking, but we've kind of just been having fun. Never really been, I don't know, never really been a huge goal.
Well,
To be fair though, that's kind of what it's about though. You gotta have fun with it
Yeah.
if you're gonna move anywhere.
because if you stop having fun, then you kind of forget why you were doing it in the
Exactly.
first place.
Yeah.
Oh, we know about that.
And there's nothing wrong with having fun being the sole purpose of your band. Like for some bands, that's just what works for them. I mean, not every band has to do what some of us do and have every song be about the most painful shit that you can imagine and always going to that super serious dark place. Like it for some bands, like I think you guys said that you have a gig coming up at Fritzy's soon, right?
Yeah.
I remember when I think back to one of our first gigs at Fritzy's, we played with a band called Pretty Okay. And
Pretty okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember those guys. They were out of Kansas, weren't they?
Yeah. And
okay.
they
I didn't know bands come out of Kansas.
well, it's like you could tell
Pretty fitting name.
we were two bands that definitely did not belong on the same bill together. Like
We've had those
we were
for sure.
definitely playing to the same crowd, even though we should have been playing to two very different crowds. And when I say crowd, I mean 12 people crammed into the basement. At Fritzy's.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
They just they were only up there to have fun, and that was enough. Like it worked for them. It made them happy, and it made the audience happy. Whereas with us, it's like, yes, we're having fun, but there's also something else behind it, and that's okay too. Like if your only goal is to have fun, I would rather you do that and be genuine about it than just go up there to try and I'm cool now because I'm on stage.
Yeah.
I get
For
this
sure,
cloud or stage cred or whatever, because that's
I do this
bullshit.
to get ladies.
Yeah,
It was
see,
the
that's what I don't
ladies.
respect. That's what I don't fucking
There's a
respect.
lot
it
of people
anymore.
out there doing that.
Yeah.
There's a lot. But for sure, for sure. You guys want to add anything onto that?
Well, I did have a thought on like because you were talking about making goals and stuff. I don't know how you guys necessarily do things, but one thing that has really kind of helped us a lot is that we keep 2 calendars at our rehearsal space, and every month we plot out our whole month.
I've tried calendars so many times. It
We-
doesn't work. Nobody looks at it.
It took a long time. It took a long time.
Yeah. I've tried many things.
I can't remember. It's been so
We got
goddamn
the
long.
whiteboard one, and we got
Yeah.
the actual paper
We've got the
one.
whiteboard
yeah.
and the yearly one. So,
Okay.
but it's mostly for
Maybe we just need a bigger.
we
bigger
combine
whiteboard.
it with our Discord as well, and Discord is probably one of the
Mhm.
handiest tools that we've ever used because, well, one
Really?
thing, if you're using like Facebook Messenger or whatever for your group chats, like eventually you can't find old messages. So if you got to call somebody on the fact that like you said this like 2.5 years ago, and I swear to God that's what you said, you can go into Discord. It's there. They don't delete
Oh.
anything. And
Yeah.
you can organize all of your chats by certain information. So we noticed our
we've
Facebook
got-
Messenger page is getting too clouded with
Yeah.
memes and stupid shit posts.
Yeah.
So we've got a designated shit post section, but then we've got
Yep.
another like goals and plans. So whenever we write out
Okay.
the calendar for the month, we take a picture of it and we put it in the goals and plans section. So if at any given moment, if you're like, oh yeah, what were we gonna do this day, or like what's my homework like
Yeah.
before next practice, I can open the Discord and it's right there. We took a picture of it, so every month that gets posted on what we wrote out for the calendar, and if we have any future plans for months from now, if there's a gig or whatever we had posted, we can write that down in the yearly calendar, and it really helped us kind of keep and maintain goals, and kind of keep us on top of things, because especially like right now with the 3 of us, things are moving relatively quickly, but when there were 5 of us, the system gets bogged down. It
Yeah.
gets slow. You
Too
know?
much shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, our messenger and conversations would be so intense that like we would fill up so much space in just a day between like I have this idea or like
Sounds familiar.
here's like a song idea or like here's a bunch of files for like a poster that I was working on. Oh, also here's like 12 memes. Thanks, Xander.
Yeah.
And
God damn it.
That's kind of like why I like the new like bump system that they have in Messenger. So you're like, just keep that message like the important thing.
yeah,
stays
our
right
frickin-
there.
yeah.
our freaking chats got so clogged that we literally had to make our own Discord server in order to keep shit organized. And like it works really well. We've tried to tell like
It
other
really
bands like,
does.
dude, you guys need to try this because it'll make things so much better.
We'll have to try it. There was a point where one of a drummer we were trying out, he was very insistent on using Discord, but for like everything, like for engaging with the fans and all that stuff. So okay, we'll look at it.
Yeah, I've
We'll look
never
at it.
considered it as like a fan
Yeah.
engagement thing, because I know that whenever I hear about Discord on like social media, it'll be like, "Oh, join my Discord, like, subscribe."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've literally never used Discord in that social media sense. I have only ever used it for group chats. I've never brought like a public setting or a public server into Discord.
Right.
So if you just keep your tiny own little like, this is my Discord. There are many like it, but this one is
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
It's a lot nicer that way.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the social media aspect he was looking to go for, but that's a good idea. We'll
Yeah.
look into that.
Honestly, though, like to some degree,
Okay, thank
why
you.
are you interrupting me?
You gotta do the
we
clothes.
needed to know.
You gotta do the laundry.
Yep.
Yeah, why are you asking?
To some degree, like actually, to some degree, I kind of see where he's coming from, though. Like, because I've seen plenty of, I really want to say Trivium. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but I feel like I saw Trivium has a Discord server.
They should.
I feel like I was also probably a part of one.
They absolutely should.
Event
Matt
horribly
streams.
long ago.
Event Sevenfold
Oh,
has
yeah.
one.
Do they?
and
That makes
it's
sense.
Matt
insane.
streams.
Okay.
See,
Yeah,
and-
because he's always
and-
he's like gaming and
Yeah,
playing
he-
on
he-
lives.
Gaming and
Oh, okay.
streams fucking
There-
practicing. Like,
Yeah,
and
so
I've
they
seen-
should have a Discord.
I've seen a lot of things with Matt Heafy and Trivium and mostly Matt Heafy doing
I
a
think
lot
it's
of
mostly
Twitch
him.
stuff.
Mostly Matt.
Yeah, it is mostly Matt, but a lot of Twitch stuff. But also, like, I kind of see the point of the Discord, which it can get really clogged really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I kind of see the point. I kind of see the point.
There was a bit of engagement that I could kind of see where it was like, just another way to like announce shows. He did like have a couple things.
yeah.
Like he did ask about like
Shit.
fans posting pictures in the Discord.
It's like the modern email list. now that I
Fans
think of it.
posting
Yeah.
pictures or any videos that they have in the Discord, just so you could compile those in a certain spot, in case, because we were both like him and I gamed a lot while we were trying him out, but like in case we wanted to do like a gaming session with the fans, like, little things like that. But like he did, I think he went a little far where like he wanted to start posting like concept art and stuff like that. It's like we can't ask any opinions from the fans about that.
Yeah.
That's between us. Like,
Right.
we can't go there.
Yeah, you've
Right.
got to hash that stuff out internally before you go bringing it
But
all
it's a
out.
good idea. I'll definitely consider it because that's happened too many times where we're talking about shows and things, and then someone will fucking throw in some conversations like, wait,
Yeah.
you didn't
We're in
answer
the
the
middle of
question.
this, man.
You didn't answer the
And
question.
that's when you see me start bumping the message.
Yeah. So thank you. We'll probably look into that actually.
It
That's
will
huge.
change your guys' life.
We're really gonna look into
Yeah,
that.
we always we use Discord whenever we're like gaming with like other people. So like we know
Right, it's a
about
gaming-
Discord,
right.
like we know how to use
Yeah,
it, but
It's
it's
a
just
gaming
like
app, but that's a good ass idea.
yeah, you never think about like, oh, let's use our band in Discord. You never
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
I think one of the best qualities or properties, however you want to put that, of Discord is that if you come up with if you notice that something like the memes like they were talking about earlier, like we have way too many freaking memes popping up in this one chat, and we're just like, you know what? Okay, we're making a different channel. If it doesn't even, it doesn't necessarily have to be memes, but you go, okay, well, damn, now we need a studio related chat.
Yeah.
I think
Bam,
we've got
there
like
you go. There's a whole new channel, and you can sit there and just add channels.
I think
all
we've got
the
like
time.
12 or
probably
14
a
different
Yeah, we've got like
threads.
12, yeah.
or- Yeah.
Sometimes we don't post in the appropriate ones every now
Mhm.
and again, trying to find that message. A little bit of a bitch every once in a while, but it's
Control F.
Yeah.
it's still,
Yeah, it's another tool though. I like that. I like that idea.
Anywho, I think we've probably spent enough time sucking
Yeah.
Discord sticks. So.
Yeah. So Donovan has compiled quite a list of questions. These are all pretty awesome. But let's start with some simple ones. So is there a story behind the band's name?
All right.
This one's on you, buddy.
Everyone's been asking, what's the story behind your name?
All right. So,
Who is everyone?
so you know when you have an epiphany when you're peeing?
Sure.
So that is
Post-nut
actually-
clarity.
It's sort of
You came back from the bathroom and
yeah. It's so. Now, initially there was a stand-in name, and it from way back when I used to work at GC, I had like another little tiny project that didn't get very far, and it was called Room 4, and it got buried in the recesses of my brain. And I want to say was it our second room?
Yeah, the
Is there a second room?
Yep.
We moved into our second room at the Flux because the first one we were sharing it with Stewart's dad at the time.
Okay.
It was a goofy, like T-shaped room. So we finally got our own one, and it was room 23 over at the Flux.
Okay.
So I was pretty hammered, went to the bathroom to have a piss, and I had the idea popping in my head, and then I'm almost running, full speed walking down the hall, and I slam the door open, and I go, room 23, that's our stand-in name right now. And it was room 23 for a long time. And then after a while, I knew I didn't like the name too much, and so I kind of just started spitballing other ideas, and I came to the guys with a few other ideas, and then Cell 23 was one of the ones that popped up. And it really resonated with everybody, the way that it sounded, the way it kind of rolled off the tongue. And then as we were writing music, the meaning of the name started to develop on its own, in which, especially with a motif that is within our music all the time, it's all very heady. It's a little woe is me, like you never loved me, mom type beat. But Cell 23 eventually became the when you're in a place of severe depression or severe anxiety and you spiral further and further in, you end up trapped in your own head, and you constantly go through a loop of never being able to get out of this concept of self-hatred and woe, and then going back and forth and constantly in this place. And cell 23 is that little box in your mind that when you finally hit that place where you cannot escape the feeling of self-hatred or the feeling of listlessness,
Okay.
cell 23 is that little prison inside of your mind where you cannot escape from those feelings. And most of our music tends to be about being stuck in that place.
For sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then we
Yeah.
get to Blueville cassette part 1.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
That's actually that's
Don't jump the gun there.
Yeah, hold on.
yeah. That
Where was your guys' room at the Flux? Was that upstairs? That was
It,
upstairs.
it
right?
was upstairs. So if you
The second hall.
second hallway, yeah, we were.
Was it right before you got into like the?
It was kind of where where the microwaves were.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were right there at the microwaves.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, we were.
That's what I thought
Who-
because I once named when me and my old guitarist Andrew, we made a project called Project 23.
Oh no shit!
I think we were in the same room.
No way.
Because we named it after the name of the room, the room number.
Hell, there's something magical
That
about
is
that
eerie.
room, man. There were only like two rooms in the whole place that had a window.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was something kind of nice about that little
Yep.
shitty window in there because that room would get so dang hot.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I remember when I would rehearse in that room on my own because I had to keep my drum set at the space. I couldn't practice at home. There would be times where there would be like a blizzard outside, and I would just pop that window open and be like, "This is so perfect." So I'm sweating my ass
Yeah.
off in there,
Yep.
and then like the
Mm.
entire neighborhood can hear it, but like, who cares?
Yeah.
And that room, there was a lot of special stuff that happened in that room. We
That's
wrote
funny.
we wrote the majority of the end of everything in that room.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
What year were
I
you
thought we
guys in the
wrote
room?
all of it.
Not all of it, yeah.
I think
2019.
What?
2019 to when we moved to Longmont, which would have been 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was about a year and a half.
By then.
'Cause
Right.
I think it was
Well, the room
early-
that me and Andrew were in.
Oh, okay.
No, we were still at the Flux at that
we were
time.
at the Flux
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was like the beginning of 2019 until around, I think I want to say it was October of 2020 that we moved to a space in Longmont.
okay.
But
It might have even been 2018 when we got in there. I just remember the winter demo coming out.
well, I vividly remember because we had our first. So this actually ties into the demo. So maybe I won't get there yet. But we had our first rehearsal, and then we had our first room, which was the one you were talking about downstairs. It was the hallway
Oh,
and then the
yeah.
triangle.
Yep.
And I vividly remember for those first like 3 months, which was November through January, we were stuck in that room. And I remember we were working on I'm All I've Got and Broken to the Bone and Reassurance in that room.
And the earliest version of Sun.
Yeah. And then I think in February was when we moved upstairs.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
another thing about the actual name Cell 23 is I think wasn't it actually Xander who suggested switching it from room to cell?
I had come forward with the list, and Xander was the one that really, really gravitated towards the word cell.
That's right, because I remember because we were all supposed to do our homework and come up with band names.
Yep.
And no one really, like, I had a bunch, but none of them were really sticking. We all had a bunch, but none of them were really sticking. And you and Xander were gelling over that one. And I vividly remember him saying, when people talk about the band, they're probably more likely to be like, hey, do you listen to Cell?
That
Instead
one.
of, hey, do you listen to Room?
And Xander did.
Yeah,
call
okay.
that. Xander called
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do just say cell, which
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah.
That he called that straight up. Like the day I said those words out loud, that's why he liked it.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know,
That's huge.
that's the funny thing about our name is like you can't really abbreviate
shorten
it.
it.
Yeah. you listen
something
to Ever?
Well, I mean, you listen to Flare.
I listen to Flare.
You listen to
You
Flare?
listen to Flare. Yeah, I listen to Flare.
Should have
Shit.
E flare, dog.
Yeah.
You listen to F?
EF is what it is, but like that's kind of like what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I still, dude, Everflare rolls right off the
It
tongue. You don't need to
seriously
shorten
does.
it. You don't need to. It's got that like trisyllabic sweet spot.
Right. It's
Yeah.
the two. It's the double or the try that like that's if you can find a band name like that's just too easy. People will fucking say it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of. It's weird that you can put science into that. Like I'm sure. I need to start looking into like promoting and advertising and stuff like that. But I'm sure Mr. Beast could fucking do a whole TED talk. He could probably teach a class on that shit, dude.
Probably.
Not a TED talk. He could probably go to university and like teach you like
Do a
how
do
to
a
Yeah.
stand in at
money.
Harvard or some shit.
Seriously,
Yeah.
man. But yeah, no, it's been cool. It's been really cool to hear about all that for sure. So how about this? How did you guys meet and decide to form a band?
This is mostly you two, and then I came in later.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, technically, it started between Stewart and Ian, but
Oh, it sort of did.
it
Okay.
technically started there. But
It kind of all happened separately because, well, so the three of us, we all went to high school together, but we were in different classes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was a freshman when Ian was a senior and Nate was a sophomore.
Yep.
And then
Were you all
Xander.
still
thanks, Dad.
the fucking metalheads of high school?
Yeah.
Were you
Good,
all
yeah.
still like this? Like,
Well, a little more
all
pop
right.
punk for this guy.
I was a Vans Warped Tour kid. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to be a
Hell
scene
yeah.
kid
Yeah,
so
yeah.
bad.
hell yeah.
I
And,
wanted to be a scene kid.
And Nate was- If
Watch
Nate,
Dad.
if Nate wasn't listening to Five Flavor Fruit Punch, then he was listening to country.
Yeah.
And
And,
I was still stuck in those days too.
He
Yep.
he would wear his,
Got a bit of
his
country in
cowboy
you?
boots to school.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's all right, dude.
Dude,
Hell yeah.
I straight
Well, he'd
up,
wear his cowboy boots and then bring his tribal flame BC Rich Warlock guitar in at one time.
Please.
Yep, that's true.
Please. Yes.
Yep. I don't have that guitar anymore.
That's a shame. Oh,
It
well.
is a shame,
They're,
but unfortunately,
they're
Bill's
not built
took
to
the,
last, man. It's
DC
fine.
Riches.
Well, no,
what a
that's
great.
He didn't break. Unfortunately, Bill's just took priority at that point in time, and it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what? Unfortunately, as much as I loved that BC Rich, like it played really freaking nice, man.
Mm.
But
Eh,
yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, so
But we
went.
Stuart and I were in jazz band together back in high school, so we did have some sort of experience playing
Nice.
music together.
I did not.
We had to start
you-
at 5:45 in the morning, but we'd still get there earlier so we could play "Holiday" by Green Day.
I was gonna say, do you remember the exact experience that we've first had
Yeah,
when? Because I remember you were playing the riff one day.
yeah.
He was playing the riff for "Holiday" by Green Day, and I was like, hold on. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and I started playing the drums to the because I was
That was the first time
completely
I'd
in
ever
love with
played with a
Green Day at
drummer in
the
my
time.
life.
Oh, hell yeah.
and we were like, oh shit. And so that was sort of the start of our bond. And we hung out a lot in jazz band, but and then I hung out with Ian's brother Christian because he was in the drum line
Yeah,
with
yeah. My
another
brother
one of
was
my
a
buddies,
band kid.
Riley Finney. And but the only problem with that was for me, for some reason, all my friends were upperclassmen. So it's like after Ian graduated, we didn't really get to talk much like at all.
Yeah, I didn't hear
And
from him
started
for like
again.
4 years
Yeah,
after that.
because he was off doing his thing. I was still just trying to survive high school. But then Nate and I did not meet in a musical setting. It was actually I think you still kind of hung out with like the group of friends that I kind of hung out with. Because like I said, I was always with the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
But we had a computer class together.
Yep.
With
Was it Mr. Hunt's?
with Mr.
Yeah.
Hunt.
That's the one.
Shout out to Mr. Hunt.
You're a
One
good
of my
man.
favorite teachers in high
Crazy
school.
fucking old guy.
Yeah.
He taught every class.
Never made us do anything. It was just like teach life lessons, then let everybody else screw around. And
Those
and
are the best teachers.
run
Yeah.
errands
Yeah.
down to the
Seriously,
front
though.
office.
Especially when they're not the substitute.
Yeah. And
Any-
I remember you said you saw me like watching drum covers or something.
That was all you ever did in that class. What are you talking about?
Because we would just screw around in there.
Yep.
And because I remember I used to watch that drum cover of BYOB all the time when I was first learning how
Yeah,
to
that-
do double pedal.
Dude with the unreasonably large kit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Nate and I, whenever we would meet up like at lunch and hang out in our friend clique, we
He
just
would pull me out of the chair.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's right. Fuck, now I have to tell that story.
Well, we can tell that story after you finish your point here.
Well, like when we would hang out with our friends, obviously that turned into, well, now we can talk about music because
Yeah.
Nate knew that I was into a certain type of music and I knew that he was into metal beyond just Five Finger Death Punch. Which
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with Five Finger Death Punch. All three of us
It's
have some love
perfectly
for the
acceptable
band.
to be into Five Finger Death Punch when you're in high school.
The first album was great.
Yes, War is the answer. It was phenomenal.
Well, and Way of the Fist.
Way of the
Album
Fist was
probably
the
good
first
Yeah,
album.
Way of the Fist.
Way of the Fist was the first one.
After about 2 of those, I was like, okay.
That's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at.
All
too.
right.
Should
Once
I?
they started becoming the veteran metal guys, like, it was like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I-
Nothing against veterans. Thank you for your service. Love you guys. But
Well, I do.
what a stereotype that they made. Five Finger Death Punch and tap out guys.
Yeah, just
Woo!
get your money
Holy
where you
shit.
can.
Yeah.
Keep it easy. But and I think to really make there's some high school history, but realistically, when it came to the formation of the band, it was about 4 years after I had graduated high school, and these guys were fresh out of high school at the time, and
Fucking
I
fresh.
used to. I used to bug Stewart all the time about starting a band. Well, sort of. Stewart was in a band prior to Cell 23, and I
right.
don't know if their name is worth mentioning or not. It's up to Stewart's discretion.
Damn.
However, when that band no longer existed, I saw a window, and I kept hitting him up all the time and bugging him and bugging him and bugging him. And it was very much like from Stewart's end, kind of I don't know, man, like we'll see, or I'm still kind of working on stuff, I'm hashing things out. And then I get a message later from Stewart that goes, I ran into Nate at the Breaking Benjamin show, and he's
Also
interested
Five
in
Finger
starting
Death
a
Punch.
band. Do you want to start a band? And I'm like, yes. And then I was working at GC at the time, and my manager was cool enough to let us use the freshly made lesson rooms that are now in the back of GC. We got the biggest room, and that was our very, very first practice day, which weirdly enough is the title of the first track of the demo.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
What is it? November.
November 22nd, 2018.
And that was the very, very, very first day that we all stood together in a room with instruments in hand with the intent of trying to write music together.
And
That's
the
cool.
reason that song is titled that is because what we wrote in the room that day was like the origin of what that song turned into. So like what you hear on the demo now is that initial idea, but
Evolved.
6 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just
no
we
shit.
never did anything with it, and now we're like, okay, well, we've finally got to a point where we're happy with it, so we're like, fuck it, let's put it on the demo.
So that's kind of the long story longer version of how we kind of came to be.
That's awesome. We're actually trying to do that same thing with our first song. We'll get there.
That's it.
We'll
It'll
get
happen.
there.
It'll happen.
Something about that first song. That first song is like it's rough. It's
Yeah.
bad.
Oh,
So it's you gotta this version is a complete rewrite that I did one day in a day of frustration and didn't even realize I was rewriting song one.
Yeah. Cool.
I just sat down at my desk, was like, fuck it, I have to write a song today, and then I wrote song one all over again and didn't mean
Cool.
to.
Yeah, we recorded on like Audacity and
Hell
good
yeah.
old
Yeah.
we had like
OG.
I think not it was it was still a 58, but like just a Shure microphone just in front of a cab. And like didn't even change the guitar tone for the leads and the rhythm. Just
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All of it's the same.
It's so great.
the drum, the MIDI that Jorge made, it was like a 3-arm drum player.
Yes.
Stewart
Hey,
expects
if you're
us
gonna go
to have
digital, you
7
might as well
fingers.
commit. That too.
Yeah, that's always fun. But we're trying to do the same thing, and it's going to be the exact same. It's going to be the hardest rewrite because back then when we first started, we none of us really had a relationship. Like Don is the kingpin basically. So we actually don't know how long we've known each other for like 14
we finally
years.
got a year. I think it was 2013. is when-
2013.
yeah.
So we've known each other for 12 years.
Shoot, dang.
Can't remember what
How?
happened.
when
Don-
we started talking.
Don and I have been in passing through musical projects like 3 or 4 times before this finally stuck. Just a quick lesson for anyone, like just a quick little thing. Like we got hit up by our first drummer. He's long gone, but like he hit me up and was like, "Hey, we're looking to start a band. You trying to play guitar?" I was only a bass player back then, kind of learning guitar.
Oh shoot.
So he's like, "Hey, this is just a new group. You want to try it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." I walked in. saw this dude, and I was like,
I turn around, I'm like, of course.
all right, well, this one has to stay. Because seriously, this is like our 4th or 5th try, and he's the coolest guy ever. So I've got to make it work, you know? But yeah, back then when we wrote our, like, none of us really knew each other. He knew the other guitar player, but the only thing we knew about each other is like we all liked the band Dance Gavin Dance. So we kind of wrote a song, but like compared to what we play now, like what the hell? Nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing to what that first song was. So it's going to be a heavy rewrite. We're going to try it though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's like Lavagato told us at the little party show. He's like, you guys just keep getting heavier and heavier. I'm like, well, I guess, yeah.
Sweet.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, if that rewrite ever comes out, man, let us know.
I'm waiting
That'd
for
be
it.
dope.
We'll let you know when it actually happens.
It's gonna be a fun one. Yeah, I've back to how we all know each other. So Jorge, I found him on Craigslist and my last band that I had back in 2017. And that band kind of just, you know, the bassist was trash. He was trash person, trash bass player, trash.
Way to beat the stereotype, man.
We've done the Craigslist route too. Actually, we're in the process of doing more of that.
Yeah,
A little
my
bit.
hopes are not high.
Yeah, because we're in that new bandmate search, and it's like Craigslist is always kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
But I mean that was how we got Jeremy. It was
Oh,
through
really?
Craigslist.
Word.
Okay.
Yeah, none of us knew who he was. He heard our demo at some point because he was looking to sing for a project, and he was talking to his ex-fiance at the time. He was like, "Should I do this?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so he hit us up, and we auditioned him, and I think it was like the night of his audition that we were like, "Should we just like let him into the band?"
He really he gave a phenomenal first impression.
Yeah,
He really
Yeah.
did.
For sure.
But you know,
he was definitely in a different place in life at the time,
at
where
the
like
time,
Yeah.
being in a band just worked for him at
Yeah.
that time. And it's a shame that it didn't work out, but it was fun while it lasted.
yeah.
And Xander, on the other hand,
Huh?
me,
Aru?
Ian, and Xander all worked at a Jimmy John's together.
Yes.
For a little
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't think you and Xander actually talked very much because Xander kind of didn't like you and you kind of didn't like Xander. But then I liked both of you
Right.
because I already knew you.
It was a little
And we
weird
were-
at first with Xander, but that's how Xander does things.
Yeah, because I remember you were already working there. The band had already started with just us three. And I was looking for a different job. I was in college at the time. And I started driving at Jimmy John's. And once I got there, I was like, well, cool. I'm going to be working with my buddy. This is great. Zach from Lavagato actually used to work at that Jimmy John's too. He used to manage
No
it.
way.
He was our boss.
He was
No way.
He
Yeah.
was managing it while me, Xander, and Ian were all working there at the same time.
Yo, so you just missed an awesome little tidbit. So Xander, Ian, and Stewart used to work at a Jimmy John's together. That's how they met each other with Xander, right?
Yep.
For the
Oh.
bass player. But then apparently, Zach?
It was managed by Zach from Lavagato. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
he was
yeah.
our boss.
Yeah.
He was our boss.
What the hell?
That was like
I actually knew that.
Yeah.
What?
By the way, fastest interview I ever had in my life. I walked in, asked for an application,
"You're
and
hired."
he went, "You look familiar." And then he disappeared. He came back 2 minutes later, and he's like, "I just got off the phone with Danny from Guitar Center. You're good. Like, when do you want to start?"
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I remember my interview
That's funny.
process at that store was very similar too. It was like, "Can you drive?" "Yeah." "Okay, you got the job." But and then, but I vividly remember you and Xander like not gelling together at first, and then like I started talking to Xander because I realized that he had a
You
battle
daddy.
jacket, and I had never met anybody else that my age that wasn't a piece of
Yes, I
shit
know.
that had a battle jacket.
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy shit, I got to talk to this guy."
Or, 40 years old.
Yeah. And so I remember like I tried talking to Xander, and Xander like totally acted like he was like too cool for me for a while.
Okay.
He was like, "You're not punk enough to be my friend."
Oh.
He didn't actually
Which
say
is,
that.
he,
but that
he
But that was
gives-
the vibe.
he-
that
yeah,
was the vibe. Yeah.
He keeps people at arm's length on purpose, and he likes to
And
say wild shit just
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
if you like.
Just say, yeah.
If you pass his vibe check, then you're good.
You're
but
good,
he's
yeah.
gonna say wild shit at you.
and the way I know the way that I passed his vibe check was, it was actually I had been at that Jimmy John's for like a month or two, and Zach came up to me and was like, "Hey, so Xander locked himself out of his car."
I forgot about this.
Oh, no.
And he needs help finding a way in, but I gotta go, and nobody else is willing to help him. Will you help him? And I was like, yeah, I'm off the clock. I'll fucking stick around. So Xander and I are just bumbling around behind the Jimmy John's, trying to break into his old beat up white, whatever the fuck it was.
The car.
The car.
The car. It was a Monte Carlo,
That's
and
what
he
it was.
removed all of the fucking letters except for car.
Yeah.
That's good. That's pretty good.
That's funny.
And I remember he and I we waltzed to the Ace Hardware next door, and we got like a golf club and a few other things. But it was like,
Hold on, Ace sells golf clubs.
well, it was a golf club where the actual club part had been ripped off. So Xander,
So Ace sells.
I was gonna say that didn't make it better.
so Xander was like, "Oh, I can use this to wedge it between the door and the siding of my car." And
Okay.
so we were just sitting out there trying to figure out how to break into his fucking car. And it was amidst all that we actually like really started talking for the first time. And then one thing led to another, and that was how Xander joined the band.
Cool.
And so
Funny.
yeah, it's like there's weird ways to make that happen, whether it's like the high school way or the we're already friends way
Yeah.
or
the
even
Cra-
the Craigslist
or the
way.
Craigslist way or the Jimmy John's way. But like it really is kind of like a no rules sort of thing, and that's almost what makes it difficult with the position that we're in now, where we're trying to rebuild the band again and find new bandmates. It's like, okay, there's no rules, but at the same time that kind of makes it harder because you just kind of have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I guess that kind of answers a question I did want to ask. Like, what? So, like, is there an audition process at all, or it's just
Well,
hopefully you pass the
kind of.
vibe, or
The vibe check.
I mean, so like, yeah, you got to learn the songs, but like, is that it?
Well, there is definitely. I mean, if you can't hang, then
There's a
we,
door,
we
baby.
don't really want you in the band. But
Yeah.
I do worry that maybe we're a little too strict on the audition process. Maybe, but we do effectively have like a set of rules that we posted to make it so if you're interested in joining the band,
If you're interested in joining the band,
Yeah.
they've got a set of rules. Check out Cell23 on Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff.
like to join the band,
Join their Discord.
All right, let's
You
not
wanna
get ahead of
be-
ourselves here.
If you want to be a part of the Cell 23 exclusive Discord, pay attention.
yeah, that's the one.
You got the link right here.
But we effectively want we've got to have folks learn the new material first and foremost, because this is kind of the direction that we're trying to go here first. And we played with the ideas of whether or not, like for example, for bassists, if we wanted to write tabs out, because it's not like we write each other tabs when we're writing music. We're kind of doing it all by ear. So I would hope that the next person that joins can kind of listen to the song and kind of figure it out.
Figures.
But we did write some tabs out for we're 3 out of 4 songs down for the tabs, and anybody that wants to join, we have them available. But we want we need these 4 songs from the demo first, and then if they're interested in learning anything from the back catalog afterwards, by all means. And then it's pretty much going to be, hey, you don't set foot in the room until you've learned these songs first. You can. We don't want someone stumbling in and just not knowing anything and
Okay.
trying to only pass the vibe check and then
Yeah.
have no idea what they're walking into. Because we abide by a pretty strict set of rules of, you practice on your own time. When it comes time to perform together as a band, you better know your own shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Show up,
Yeah.
shut
We-
up, keep up.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
leave room for each other sometimes. There's always going to be fumbles when we're playing, but
Shit happens.
when we're auditioning somebody, we may feel like we might be being a little bit strict by the fact of if you want to audition, we expect you to kind of already know the material by the time you set foot in the room. So we're going to hand you everything that you need to be able to learn it and then take your time, and we will be ready for you when you're ready. And then we can have them come in and, it'll kind of be trial by fire. We're going to turn our instruments down a little bit, and we're going to turn that bassist up really, really loud and go, hey, man, there's no room to hide. Play it right.
Yeah.
If you really, really fuck this up, why did you come here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's kind of one of those things where it's like I was saying earlier, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously, but we kind of have to with this, where it's like, if you're going to show up and you don't know the material, then like, why should we give you the time of day?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sounds like we stuck a chord here.
We've had a few.
I'm just genuinely curious because we've had to audition some people sometimes, and I feel sometimes that we're too lenient because the only real expectation I come with is just like, we've got stuff on Spotify, learn that, and then I guess we'll ask you on the spot if there's anything else you can do. If we've got a song that we're jamming on, maybe jump on, or like if you can improvise or do whatever. I don't expect it, but I at least expect we have material, learn the material.
Yep.
So I mean,
I think that's the
all
bare
I've ever
minimum.
had.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I think that's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like,
Go ahead.
as long as you know the bare minimum, then at least you know the bare minimum. But, you know, I would personally, and this is just me in our auditioning process, it's going to be, I would like to see someone take a part that we wrote and make it their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
You
have
can
room for
make something.
interpretation.
Yeah, exactly. There's always going to be room for
Yes.
interpretation. So if I see if someone comes up and they like, you know, that's not the part that was written, but it fits and it sounds good.
It's good.
Nice.
Yep.
Check that box. But yeah, I think as far as at least my opinion when it comes to our auditioning process, like, you know, I agree. I don't necessarily want to take ourselves too seriously, but also if we're going to be serious about this, we kind of have to be a little,
yeah, it's like
we kind of have to be
Yeah.
serious
Don't
about
really
You
it.
have to be
So,
serious.
Yeah.
like, we don't want to audition someone, then have them be a part of the band, and then all of a sudden it's like, that wasn't it.
Did we
Actually,
Yeah.
Because I mean,
So-
we
Let's-
literally
we-
ran into that. We're not going to mention names.
do it?
If
Peer pressure.
he listens, he listens. Whatever. But like we had a guy who came through and like, cool guy. He had drive, but like he didn't do that.
Mm.
He learned our songs 75%. He would kind of get lost sometimes, and then there were times where like he just didn't know where the song ended. So we were kind of like, whoa, a little weird, dude.
Yeah.
But all right, whatever. But then like as we were like kind of like trying to get him into the band, like we kind of just like accepted him, but we're like kind of like, you know, let's get ready before we play these shows. Like he started pushing, like he was writing songs by himself, just a drummer writing full arrangements. That's cool. But like he would be like, hey, can we play this arrangement that I wrote? And we're like, yeah, but can you learn our music first?
Yeah.
We will totally,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
get there.
He
But
joined
can
the
you-
band
like put a
expecting to
pin
start
in
his
it.
own band, sounds like.
Yeah,
It's exactly what
that's
he did.
yeah.
That's exactly what he did because he had a side
Eventually-
project, and he eventually asked us like, "Would you guys be willing to learn my side project?" We're like,
Yeah,
"No, goodbye."
and then
Yeah.
that's when we had to sit down talk like. So
That's ego is always an issue when it comes to lots of people coming together to create something
Yeah.
that's surprisingly vulnerable that is making music.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
ego will absolutely decimate anything that is going to be good.
Yeah, no. So I'm just genuinely curious because that's really all we've ever done is we've just been like learn the material, and if we can do anything extra after that, cool. That's kind of part of the vibe check.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
you know, but yeah, just wanted to know.
What you got for us next?
Well, I actually have like a question of like recent stuff that happened. Why is it just the three of you now?
Are we okay with talking about that?
Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, here we go. I'll try and keep it short and sweet and not divulge too much information about anything.
Whatever
that
you're comfortable with.
So-
Again, we can edit stuff too,
Jeremy is Jeremy's been a dad for a little while,
for
Yeah.
sure.
but he just had a newborn a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
so I
Congratulations,
do-
Jeremy.
I do feel like the day that he came to us was more than likely a day where like they found out like a new kid was coming.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And so Jeremy, in particular, out of all of us, he was really the only one that had to struggle between balancing, his work, his relationship, and being a dad, and also previous relationship, child out of wedlock situation. So he had a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
And so by the time like the most recent kid came up with like his current relationship that seems to be going well for him, that seemed like the thing that was more important to him, and justifiably so. So it was like, he really had to make a tough call and go, I've got to go really be a dad now.
Yeah.
I can't be in a band anymore. As far as Xander goes, like Xander was really one of the greatest things that ever happened to Cell 23, but his music styling is not entirely what we make. Xander is, well, granted, we all have very different musical tastes. The three of us probably have the closest overlap, but with Xander and Jeremy, there was a lot of dramatic overlap in music styling, and Xander brought great things to Cell 23, but he wasn't getting what he needed out of it. If that makes sense. He really had to, and he was also juggling one of his other bands, Roadside Therapy, at the time. So
along with his personal project.
And his personal project, and he had like a small family band thing going on.
Ooh, sorry,
With like his mom and his younger brother. So he was juggling too many bands and all this other stuff, and he was making all of this music, and none of it was speaking to his soul. So he had to put all of it down so he could focus on his music. And so we told him the day he left, we still stand by it, is, hey, do what you need to do to make your soul right. Make the music you need to make. And if he ever wants to come back, our door is open for him. I don't think he wanted to be our bassist anymore anyway. He was really branching more towards synth and keys and piano and auxiliary vocals. He's a very multi-instrumentalist kind of guy.
Yeah.
So that's where he's working on his solo project stuff right now. And we don't know if he'll ever come back. I think he said out loud that he doesn't want to, but he also does want to. So it was really just in the place where it was very, very mutual. And it was very like, hey man, if you need this, we're going to let you go do that. No hard feelings. If you want to come back, come back. If you don't, no problem. So that's kind of what happened with the two of them. So as far as, two of our members leaving, it was for the most part all amicable. It was really just life took over for Jeremy, and Xander needed to get his soul right.
Yeah. Because I mean, I don't mean to step on anyone's toes or anything, but like personally, as far as I see it, like you and Xander are kind of like the faces of Cell 23.
Yeah.
As far as I see it,
Right.
again, I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but like
That's because me
You're
and
shitting on
him
us.
like to hide by the merch table
sorry.
after the show.
I do notice that though. You guys are always at the merch table for sure. Cool. That's awesome. But yeah, like Xander, that was like, goddamn, you guys lost a huge part of your face.
Yeah.
And that
We did.
that's-
You lost a huge part of your face.
You know?
What
Half my
happened to your
face is
face?
gone.
no, but that,
Harvey Dent over here.
if anything to say about Xander, he is an artist. Right?
Absolutely.
Very much so.
So
Yeah.
Through and through.
if that, I mean, he's gotta feed his soul. If that wasn't sitting with him, let him do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome though. I'm glad that nothing was like bad. It was all amicable. That's awesome.
Yeah, I saw that he was having another kid, and I was like, that's probably why.
Hey man, you gotta be a dad. You gotta do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's cool. Like we had that with our drummer.
He's actually in our music video.
Yeah. We're not gonna let him go. He's gonna keep being in the stuff that we did.
We still got him. He's just not drumming for us anymore.
So-
Love you, Simon.
He wanted to kind of like take like a mental break for himself, get his life together, kind of same thing. And he said he might come back, he might not. He ended up doing like other projects and stuff like that, and now he's just kind of like just living life.
Yeah.
He might write a book.
Hell yeah.
He's definitely an artsy person too. He's doing whatever, but it was the same with him. We're like, dude, do whatever you want. The door's always open. Even if you said like you'd never want to come back, like it's open, dude.
Yeah.
Like, sure, whatever you choose.
I think that's the other thing I want to mention too is, I mean, they already know this, Jeremy and Xander, but I don't want anyone else out there to think that there's any like bad blood between the three of us and the two of them.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Because
no
like,
animosity.
I mean, I feel like
Said it straight.
I feel like we also made it known, like in that first announcement that we did, that things were going to be changing. That like they are still very much our brothers, even if they're not necessarily part of the band.
Yeah.
They're always going to be like, we're always going to have that bond.
Yeah.
And we don't use the word brothers lightly.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like whenever people see bands like members leave, they like, you know, you never know what the behind story is, but they always go to, oh, they're not right anymore. Or like there's something wrong in the band.
Well, I mean,
It's
like,
no,
we
people live
definitely,
life.
well, we definitely had our words with each other. Like,
Right.
all of us have had problems with each other
Yeah.
at some point
Yeah,
or
that'll-
another,
yeah.
or like band fights and arguments. Maybe not band fights necessarily. I think
we've had a solid scrap.
I don't know. You two would scrap in the park. You and Xander would scrap in the parking lot sometimes, but that was always just a friendly scrap.
No, Xander wanted me to like break shit because he thought it was amusing to him. But I think the closest it ever came to any of us actually getting into a fight
It was me and Ian.
it was actually probably you and me. Because Nate
He's like, I didn't even know.
Well, hold on now. All right.
Nate and I lived together for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
okay.
That's true.
So I think we got a little
You don't
bit
even
of,
have to finish that story.
yeah.
We all kind of know where that one always goes.
we kind of got a little bit of like roommate syndrome,
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
where it's like that kind of leaked into rehearsal a little bit. But like,
Got a little too used to each other.
well, and also like that's what brothers do. They fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
fine. Just fight and then get over it.
Yep.
Yep.
Like it's fine.
I mean, here we are today.
Yeah.
I've had my words with you. We've all had our words with each other.
Yeah.
Ian and I have had our words.
Oh, yeah.
And we're still
We've
here.
gotten fucking pissed at each other before.
Yep.
That's why we don't use the word brothers lightly.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
we've known each other for long enough that you know it can sometimes feel silly to like let a relationship and a common goal fall
Mhm.
apart just because of
Feelings.
yeah.
Feelings.
Feelings.
You want to know what I'm
Whoa,
feeling?
All right.
Yes.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
That's awesome. No, for sure. It's good. It's good to hear that you guys can just hash it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Telling you,
Ask more.
just do that to Jorge. Just do
They're
it.
just different people, man. Just different people.
I feel like that's part of how you can know that like you really love somebody too, is if you can be like, listen, man, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like I've got your back. Like,
I might be pissed at you, but I'll still help you bury a body if I
Yeah.
need to. Like,
yeah, it's like I've got your back no matter what, even if I did just like kick you in the balls 10 minutes ago.
See, maybe because Don's known me long enough that he knows that's how I am. I'm a very passionate guy. Like I'm a chihuahua. I bark loud. There ain't no bite to that. There ain't- bother me in like 40 minutes. It's all fine. It's all okay. But like, yeah, Don's the only person who like knows me. Where like I'll scream. I'll be mad.
Yeah.
And then he's just like,
And I'm just like, yeah.
Don's like, yeah, okay. And then eventually, like, I'll figure out what I need to figure out, and everything's cool. Yeah, it's interesting, man. Being in a band is basically just being in a relationship with a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, we've said it forever. You can't be in a band and not be like a little gay. There's like
a little bit.
there's
A little bit.
there's some kind of gay going on here.
Explain.
Stewart,
Some kind.
I mean,
love
we've,
you.
Elaborate.
we've had our times of cheek slapping.
I mean, a little bit of slap ass, you know. It's here and there.
Hey man, if a homie needs a favor, you know, I got a mouth, it's fine. But
I didn't say cheek clapping. I said cheek slap.
I mean,
Oh no. Oh, that's too good.
I won't say $50 is $50, but Stewart, I might do it for free.
yeah, friends and family discount.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Let's ask one of these questions here. If you had to describe your music in 3 words, what would it be?
Fuck.
Sad.
Shit.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, that's 2. What's the last one?
Literally that for fuck. That
fuck.
describes it really well. You listen to it and you just go, fuck, man. God.
You know, now that I know like the kind of like backstory of like your guys' songs, I really want to like actually like listen to it. like feel it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna pretend that like we're like that it's that bad. I mean, we're not like daughters or anything.
Right.
We're not
yeah.
writing songs that are gonna keep you up at night, like to that extent. But like, it's raw.
It's also it's not like significantly profound either. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I've always felt that it's a lot of the feelings that you wanted to get out when you were a teenager, and now that you're an adult, you have the opportunity to do so. So,
Right.
I think them 3 words really were like, fuck, sad, shit.
There's the 3 words. That's funny.
Fuck this shit. Sad shit.
Oh man. What was your guys' last show?
Black Sheep.
Yeah.
Black-
Black Sheep was sending skyward.
Yep, that was in June, right?
Was it in? I thought it was in.
It was
like,
that long ago?
May.
It was either June or July.
Yeah.
I think it was summertime.
Yeah, it was sometime.
That's
like
almost a year
May,
since you guys
June, or
played a
July,
show.
one of
Nearly,
those
yeah.
months.
Jeez.
It'll probably be a year or more.
Holy
till the
shit.
next show, if that, because we got to get new members,
Yeah.
audition, get show ready.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully you just find that guy that just like can pick it up and just.
hope so. It's mostly the vocalist I'm more worried about than anything.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
that's
hard to find a good.
Those are some big shoes to fill, man.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm like.
if there's one out there, then put up or shut up.
Yeah.
True.
I was thinking, I can audition for them. I was like, nah, my sound's not. I'm more
Look,
of an attack kind of.
I ain't gonna lie, we literally
we
thrown
had-
the words around.
We
Ed,
had
so-
that conversation,
Yeah.
and your
But
name
we
got
also-
brought up, man.
So we didn't want to interrupt anything that you might have been doing at the
You
same
guys
time
are literally
too.
not the only ones. There's so many bands that have been like, we've had you like, let's just ask Donovan, like, let's have him join the band. I'm like,
mean-
guys, I'm not that good. Like,
I mean, your place of humility and being humble is phenomenal, but also your talent speaks for itself.
Yeah.
There's a reason why everybody's
It does, yeah.
got you at the back of their mind one way or another. But also at the same time, I would love to see whatever you're working on really make it. You know? That's-
Yeah, no, for real.
I mean, like, I feel like it's easy for a vocalist to be in multiple bands, but at the same time, it's like, I guess scheduling would be really hard because, I've got a family too. So it's like, so
Everybody has
being
their
in
own
one band
shit.
right now is good enough for me.
Well-
I'll do features.
Yeah, and honestly,
Hold
dude,
up.
collabs would be sick in
Yeah,
the future. Anything like that. that'd
I
be
did a
dope.
feature with Fluorescent. I did it with
gonna say-
Origami Summer. Yeah.
Hey,
You say I'm bad, but like, how many people have asked you to feature?
Right.
How many shows have you gone to in Denver just so you could?
Just so I could
Pop
feature.
up.
And people are like, hey, you going to be at the show? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I had a pretty good year last year of just featuring in so many other bands. It was fun. It was fun.
Man, it's an enviable place to be.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, and I mean, like, our band was just kind of like, we were in a spot of like, we don't know what we're doing right now.
We've definitely had our stagnant phases,
Yeah.
for sure. But we're coming out of it, man.
Hell
We're
yeah.
turning it around. It's really
Yeah.
fucking happening this year. Mark my words, goddamn. it.
Yeah.
Man,
Dude, I
Cell
look,
23 Everflare 2020.
Let's
Hi,
go.
let's go. Woo.
Gotta
I
get
look forward-
that ever sale.
I look
it.
forward to seeing what you guys put out.
Brother.
I really look forward to seeing everything that happens.
I've never been excited like this, man.
Like, I want to
Dude,
show
yeah.
after this. Like, I want to show them. Like,
We should.
Yeah,
We should.
I'd love to say it.
Yeah,
we got some
Seriously,
stuff,
same.
man.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's good.
Finally, it's been a long time coming, but finally, man. Again, we're doing it.
Hell
I think
yeah.
again, it's now that we've set goals. Like, now we're actually looking to do something. So
Yeah.
Could you do me a solid plug that date again that we're going to see you guys play live?
Oh yeah, so come through April 25th, Fritzy's, the Speakeasy. So it's a bar up top, but we're playing downstairs in the basement.
Hell
Be
yeah.
ready for some crazy metal
It's a
shit.
liquor Oh no, yeah,
That's
it's a
a-
bar. The liquor store is behind it too.
Yeah,
That's like a bunch of stuff in that
It's
one.
a,
Yeah,
it's a crazy little spot, but it's a fun
small,
little
but
spot.
packed the fuck in.
yeah.
Show up.
And if you missed that one, May 3rd, the next week on the Saturday, hit that show at Vultures.
yeah.
Vultures?
Dude,
All right,
Fritzy's
hell
said
yeah.
Vultures.
Hell yeah.
All
We're
right.
actually
We ought to be heading to both then.
That's what I'm thinking.
Hell yeah.
Because
We're right across the street from Vultures where we're practicing now.
Yeah,
so we ain't
actually,
got
seriously,
no
though.
Wait,
excuse.
are you guys at What's Left too?
No.
No, the Luke's other.
Yeah.
One another
Well, he's
spot?
got like
The-
4 locations.
Oh,
over
the
there.
by Subway.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
one.
yeah, we're
Oh,
at What's
yeah.
Left.
Yeah, we're under
Oh,
what's
yeah.
left
Oh,
playing.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That's funny.
Yeah, but
You
no,
know,
we've
I-
got some stuff.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, no,
Pretty
Josh
good.
and I were talking, before we started everything here, and yeah, he goes, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be, of course, you literally just said it, and then my brain just went, that date is no longer here." So
It happens, man. Whatever.
I know it's a Friday,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, I was like, "Do I have anything going on?"
Yes.
No. I think I know what I'm doing on Friday.
It's rehearsal time, so let's just back up. Walk on down to Vultures and get her done.
That was something that, and total random fucking side note here. We had a little bit of a run with every time, we'd look and see who was playing at the Black Sheep, who's playing at, what's left. Just something around the area.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, you know what? Let's just walk over there, pay $15, $20,
Yeah, we
and
started.
just go see a show.
Yeah,
Why? Because
we started doing that last year before all the shit went down with our lineup,
Yeah.
and I think now would be a really good time to start doing that again, especially because of the position that we're in and the fact
You
that we
need to
need to
recruit.
talk to people and
Yeah.
recruit,
Yeah.
and so
yeah,
Because I will say
Meet the
one
scene.
thing that we need to be better about is engaging more in the scene, because we did go radio silent for a long time.
Yeah.
And we used to frequent the Black Sheep and Vultures all the time, because we wanted to make sure that we were also there for our fellow bandmates in the scene. Doesn't matter what band they're
Support
in
your
or what's
homies.
going on, but we wanted to make sure that we're, we can't just only play in the scene, because then we're just fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is made for us. Like, we're not gonna go see you. Come see
Yeah.
us.
Well, the funny thing about that is, we had one drummer that we've got. I think it was last year, 2 years ago. But I was at a Vulture show. Strawberry Girls. You guys know Strawberry Girls?
doesn't
I'm
ring
not
a bell.
familiar.
They're
No.
kind of instrumental, and they like bring like other people in, kind of band. Yeah.
All right.
But we were at that show, and I see him in the bathroom, and he's like, "Donovan?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Hey, my name's Ian." I was like, "I'm your old drummer's brother's wife's brother."
Hell yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you want to join the band?"
Yeah, if
Man,
any
it's
of
just
us,
like Ian to start a conversation. In the
Yeah.
bathroom. Like,
if any of us, Donovan's the one who like the scene knows.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't really talk to people. I
I'll
need
go
to
out
work
and
on that.
people will be like, "Donovan?" I'm like, I guess. I don't know who you are.
I definitely need to work on talking with people, but whatever.
Same, bro. Same.
I'm gonna, now that we have merch, I'm gonna use that as my excuse. Like, I'll be the merch guy. Talk to me there, but
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna he's got a wireless pack now. He's gonna be at the merch table playing.
There you go.
hell yeah.
I want a wireless.
My
Dude. I
thing.
want a wireless so bad, man.
You can get a cheapo one.
I don't
Yeah.
want to get a cheapo one. I want to get
Yeah,
the
it's,
good
just,
one,
it's,
man.
it's tough to trust for a line.
Yeah.
Ah,
And you
for sure.
probably want to get like Shure or something if you're
That's-
not want to go
Yeah, I'm
cheap.
sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, the Line
Dude,
6
I want the-
G50 is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good value for the
that's
money.
still not necessarily cheap. I digress.
I digress.
As you are wont to do.
I shan't.
That's funny.
Shanton. I might have to.
On the couch, dude.
God damn it. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
these little so these are wireless for my microphone. I
Are
finally
those the
got
X5s?
No, it's so there's two different so I got one on Amazon and they
need more
discontinued
beer.
that, and then I got one from Walmart. Same product, but a different name on it from Walmart.
Hell yeah.
But I finally got to test the
Just throw
distance
those
on
anywhere,
that thing
bud.
at the show that we just recently played. I walked pretty far away from where the actual transmitter was, and I was like, "Oh man, it didn't lose any kind of connection. It's 5G."
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm getting cancer, you know.
That's the one.
I remember
That's the big ski.
I remember actually at that show that we played here with you guys and Lavagato, you let Jeremy borrow your mic,
Yeah.
wireless one.
Yep.
and he was like, "That was the best show I've ever had."
Yeah.
because he could
No
just
way.
do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
forgot that I had it during them because I remember somebody spilled a beer and I went upstairs still screaming and got a towel.
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Where is he?"
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I forgot about that. Yeah, the free range with that thing it's so nice. I mean, like I never really did like, XLR, spinning the microphone
Yeah.
around kind of tricks.
Jesse Lavagato,
Yeah.
fucking swinging that thing
Oh,
around.
he goes crazy with that
Risky
thing.
business, man.
Dude, but it looks good.
I know, but it makes my butthole pucker every time he does that.
It's funny at the last show. He actually hit himself in the back of the head with his microphone. I don't know how he did it.
I love it.
Oh no.
Just waiting
poor
for
guy.
a mic pop.
Waiting for the feedback squeal after that.
Yeah.
I just saw the microphone up in the air and then just.
It's a very Jesse thing to do.
Yeah, I was like, how do you even do that?
But also, then he just somehow just grabs that motherfucker and just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's
He's good.
it's a thing.
It's an art.
Pro.
Yeah,
Seriously though.
he's a
And
really
then
good vocalist too.
Yeah, last time we played here, and then that's actually a question that I have for you. I'll put a pin in that. But when we played here, and then I damn near break Ian's toe
Oh,
with
yeah,
my
you almost broke my
50-pound
toes. That was
fucking
fun.
amp. Two,
One day I wasn't wearing my comp toes.
yeah,
That's funny.
hit one lip of where this is where the concrete separates. Sorry, buddy. I still feel like I'm